Now this video is going to be me talking about some of the stuff that I hear about Fairy Tail that often gives the story a bad rep, or that's often misconstrued about Fairy Tail. So let's go ahead and dive into this video. Coming in at number 7 is that people say that Fairy Tail sucks. Now come on, man, let's be honest. If Fairy Tail really did suck as much as people say it does, then it wouldn't be as successful as it is right now. Like, let's be honest, people lie, men lie, women lies, but numbers don't lie. Fairy Tail is one of the most successful mangas, period. I mean, coming out, it's only been out for like 10 years. I think it has like 20 million copies sold. It's always in the top 30 selling manga. It's so popular worldwide. Like, Fairy Tail just doesn't suck. Let's be honest. It's not a perfect series, but it doesn't suck, and people, they need to cut it out with that. Coming in at number 6 is that Fairy Tail has no plot. Now this one, oh my god, it pisses me off. Everybody's like, Fairy Tail has no plot. This is story what with bad Natsu. No. Fairy Tail's plot, it was for Natsu to find Igneo. Once that was finished in the Tartaros arc, and then beginning, the new plot was to take out Zeref, Act, and Logia. That's why Natsu went on the time skip. Not the original plot for Fairy Tail. It was introduced off of Natsu trying to find Igneo. And some people were like, oh well, he never actually looked for him. What the fuck? Like, it's like it's like they don't read or watch the series. He was searching for Neo the whole time, but throughout the story there were little detours and stuff. That's like saying that, oh, Naruto, he didn't try to become Hokage because he had to go through different arcs throughout the series that didn't necessarily pertain to him obtaining the Hokage role. No, there's going to be detours in the path. If the story was just straight focus about, okay, it's all about Natsu finding Neo, then we wouldn't have so many arcs that were amazing. So just stop it. Fairy Tail does have a plot. Coming at number 5 is that there's no character development. Now, this goes for everybody. They say that Natsu doesn't have development, Lucy doesn't have development, and this is just plain out retarded. Natsu, he's developed so much from the series. I mean, we even seen recently that Natsu, before, he used to always, I guess say that he could always like put himself before everybody, but now he puts the guild before himself. He's grown so much, and he's finally realized, you know what, the guild comes before me, and we saw that when he was ready to sacrifice himself for the guild. So Natsu, he's grown so much. And then the Lucy part, come on, bro, come on. Lucy, she was started off as one of the most fodder characters in the series. She was so useless, weak, but now look at her. She saved the guild multiple times, and come on, man, that's just self-explanatory. The characters do develop, and they develop good. Now, coming in at number 4 is probably the one that pisses me off the most, is that when people says that Fairy Tail is a complete ripoff. Now, don't get me wrong, there are parts of Fairy Tail that are inspired by many different mangakas and many different stories. Like, for example, Guild Arts and Shanks, perfect example of inspiration, and I guess people can even call that a ripoff. But to say that it's a complete ripoff, that is disrespectful. And there's always one picture that people bring up. It's a picture of like when they're like comparing scenes from like One Piece or something with Mavis, and when the guy appears on the ocean. First of all, that's the anime studio, because it's not like that in the manga. So if you want to listen, that's one of the reasons why people, they often say it's a ripoff, because of what the anime might do. But let's be honest here. I'm one of the people, I'm caught up to a lot of different series. I was reading Naruto while I was ongoing. I'm caught up to One Piece, but to say something's a ripoff just for having inspiration, that's like saying that One Piece is a ripoff for being inspired by Disney, or if it's a ripoff for Oda even admitting himself that without Dragon Ball, One Piece wouldn't exist. So just because something takes inspiration, that doesn't mean that it's a ripoff. So stop it. Fairy Tail, it has its own unique plot, it has its own unique characters, and it has its own unique world. So stop saying with the ripoff stuff. Another thing, oh my god, this is definitely the most said thing about Fairy Tail: ask full friendship power-ups. Okay, where do I start with this? Not every fight has those friendship power-ups. Granted, one of the themes about Fairy Tail is friendship. It's always talked about how they rely on their friends, but there are not as much friendship as full power-ups in the story. Name me some, and I'm willing to debunk any of them, because a lot of people, they think that just because Natsu, he might give a friendship, like he might talk about friends or something, or Lucy might talk about how she like cares about her friends or something, they think that's a power-up, when in reality, Fairy Tail, they don't get their power-ups from friendship. There's usually always like an outlying variable that actually makes them pull through. For example, when Natsu fought Zero, he was down, he he would have lost until Jalal came with the flame of rebuke. That had nothing to do with friendship. That has nothing to do with friendship. It's just coincidental. It's just basically the characters getting lucky. So the friendship thing needs to stop. No, stop it. Number 2, this one, I lied. This one pisses me off the most. This one pisses me off the most. When I hear people say that the villains suck. Oh my god. Hades, Martyr, Zareth, Agnologia. There's so many great villains in this series. Just from Hades alone, this guy, well, to be honest, he's my favorite villain. But this guy, he's incredible. Knowing that he's the second guild master, like, oh my god, his backstory is amazing. He was chilling with Mavis. All of the fairy tale villains, they said that a lot of people say that the villains suck because they all have, I guess you can say, the same motive, whereas they have something to do with Zareth. No, that doesn't mean they suck. Zareth, he has inspired a whole bunch of dark guilds to come out, and they want to revive him so that they can rule the world. Granted, I guess you can say that some of them have similar motives, but that doesn't mean that they suck. They all provide for great development for the characters, and they have a huge impact on the story. So stop saying it with the villain sucks. And last but not least, fairy tale fights end with friendship power-ups. Now this kind of relates back to what I said earlier, but no, not all fights end with fairy tale friendship speeches. It happens a couple times in the series, and then people run off and say, oh, it happens, so these are the biggest, they always have friendship power-ups. Just stop it. It doesn't happen every single fight. But that's basically it for my 7 biggest lies in fairy tale. What other BS statements do you guys hear in the sound off in the comment section down below? Peace out.